and weigh them and then figure out how much 5 billion is. But it was hard to count sand because all the grains are different sizes. Some of them are hardly even grains, some of them are pebbles. So I tried wheat. And I figured out that wheat, the wheat kernels, you know, it's not flour, it's whole thing. 5 billion grains of wheat would be about as big as a good-sized apartment building. You know, that's how many people are going to get hurt if we screw this up. But, you know, that's the bad news. The good news is that if we do this right, if we save the planet, we can have a lot of happy people. You know, we can have good times in a very, very, very big way. And a planet, pretty soon it's going to be more than 5 billion, maybe more like 7 or 10 billion. And if we can, you know, fix the environment and solve our social and economic problems, we can do anything. These are going to be 10 billion healthy, happy people. So anyway, here's what we got to do. We got to fix the first thing I got to do is quit polluting, okay? The air, the water, the land, and ourselves. Starting with the air. The cars are the worst, and the first and best way to quit polluting the air with our cars is to quit driving them so much. And that just means walk. You know, get a bike if you can and walk when you can. There's other things too. Get an efficient car. Think about what you're doing when you decide where you're going to work. You know, when you're deciding whether to quit a job. If the thing's an hour drive away, you think, it's not so bad, I can drive an hour. Well, it is pretty bad. It's not just convenience to you that matters. We shouldn't be using resources like that. Okay, think about that. And later on, you're going to have the opportunity to buy into new kinds of cars. You know, these replacements for gasoline, the alcohol and the electricity and all that. Buy them, do them. Seems like a long way off now, but you're going to be the ones buying the cars, you know. Let me see, what else about the air? The industry pollutes a lot of air, and we can get industry to do what we want just by buying their product or not buying their product. And, you know, what our friend was saying about the, you know, the tuna cans, how he made them stop using, you know, killing off the dolphins when they fish for tuna, just by not buying their tuna. It worked. These things do work. And one of the things you have to do to make it work is to know what's going on. You know, you read about these things. When you see something in the paper, don't skip over it and read something else. Read it, learn about it. Because if you know what's going on, you can make these things happen. Let me see. The water. That's a tough one. We got to make some really profound changes in the way we live to stop polluting the water. Like, for instance, the chemicals that we buy, like the lawn care chemicals. It's hard to live with the idea of not using lawn care chemicals and dealing with the weeds in other ways, or even just living with them. But that's what we got to do. We're not going to hurt all these people. That's what we got to do. Stop buying those things. And when your parents are going to buy these things, argue with them. And if they don't go for the argument, learn a lot more so you make a stronger argument next time. There's other changes we can make for the water. Our sewage system is kind of screwed up. We take water out of the rivers and the lakes, we use it, flush it, partially treat it, and dump it back in the water where it goes in the river. Now, the people that work for these companies will tell you that it's fine, it's clean when we dump it in the water. Nonsense. If it was clean, we'd be drinking it. That's what we got to do. We got to start treating our water so well that you can drink it. And that can be done. What you do is you treat it as far as we've been treating it, and then you add another step where you sprinkle it on the land, and let it seep into the land, and the soil bacteria will work on the chemicals that are in it, and what's left will be filtered out by the drains themselves, and you just collect it up from the groundwater, and it'll be clean if you don't pollute the groundwater. We're going to start doing that sort of thing, and it's important for everybody to understand it, because when they start talking about doing that, you can't say, "Ooh, drinking sewage." Don't do that, okay? Most people won't, but be open to it, because that's what we got to do everywhere. And it's going to be hard to make that change. Let me see, the water, the land. The land. You know, recycle. Recycle everything. You can recycle cans by dropping them into boxes and take them to the recycling center. Same with the bottles. Same with the paper. But you can recycle other things too. You can recycle plastic. Most people don't know that. Almost all the plastic we use can be recycled. And one by one, the recycling centers are starting to take these things. I don't know what to tell you about that. One of the things you have to do, one of the main things we all have to do is keep learning. You know, if you really care about this, you have to take the time to learn about it, to read about it, and to know just how to do things like this. not going to hurt all these people, all of us are going to have to do things like that and to live that way. We're talking about a really, serious change in the way we think about our lifestyle. Let me see, there's a land. Oh yeah. We got to keep quit knocking it over with bulldozers, and that means fighting. When these people, you hear about, they're developing another tract of farmland and turning it into suburbs. What can you really do about it? Nothing. It's called a bunch of people with money. How can we stop them? Well, that's not true. You can stop them, because this is a democracy. If the local government says we're not going to develop that tract of land, they won't develop it. But the only people who are presently involved in local government are the rich people who want to develop the land. You got to change that. You got to get into it. You get into the local government and let those people know that you care about what they're doing. And if they think they're not going to be reelected, if they let this piece of land be developed, they won't let it be developed because they want to keep their job. So that's another thing. You got to learn about what's going on and participate, make some phone calls, and go to some meetings. What I'm talking about doing is like things other than hanging out with your friends and drinking, and that's another huge step that we have to take, to think about this kind of activism as being a kind of fun, which it is. Most of the nicest people I've ever met, I've met through environmental activism and other types. It's really worth doing by itself, never mind all the things we're trying to accomplish. The land. Oh, there's so much more. These developments that we can stop with the legislation is one kind of protection for the land that we can do. But there's other more far away things like that rainforest and knocking down the forests in the American West and things. These are big problems and they're hard for us to solve. And the only way you can do it is put a lot of time and effort into it. And like I was saying, the only way it can possibly be done is if it's fun. And that's for us. We like to have fun, so let's do it. And let's keep the one so much fun. Something else. There's the water bodies. Oh yeah. Look at labels. When you see words you can't pronounce in the ingredients, just pick something else. Period. I mean, you can be smarter about it than that. You can know what all these chemicals are and what they do to you, and that's worthwhile because some of them are better than others, and some of them are worse than others. But if you don't want to take the time to do that, don't buy anything with all that crazy stuff in it. And I'm not just talking about food. Whatever you buy, whether it goes down the drain or in the garbage, whatever you buy, it's going to get into your body eventually, or it's going to get into your children's body or their children's body. Don't buy the stuff if it has all those chemicals into it. And if we don't buy it, they won't make it. Simple as that. That's about it. Oh yeah, the whole attitude that we take. One of the reasons we have all these problems with the environment is that we try to have a lot of fun. We try to have all our needs gratified right away and in a big way. And it doesn't really work. You look at these people who have 10 times as much money as we do, and they're not any happier than we are. And yet we do the same things they're doing to try to get all this, and we pollute just as much as they do. You don't really have to have a lot to be happy. We can be very, very happy with very, very little because we have each other. Just recognize that and appreciate that. That's the main thing. That's what all this was about. All these people that these beings represent, a gigantic pile of these eternals represent, all these people are nice people. And they don't have to destroy the world to be happy. We don't have to destroy the world to be happy. Just appreciate what we have. And the main thing we have is each other. Just don't mess things up so much.
All right. I'd like to solicit the stuff we're selling over here. These shirts are $13, 100% cotton. We're also selling mugs for $7. We have 22 karat gold plated globe earrings, and then other ones that don't have the gold, they're in the same design. Those are $10. And we have small marble earth globes, which are $2. We'll be selling these all week outside here. You can contact any one of us that's been speaking here. This is for our group and Earth Day every day. This is a fundraiser. And it's not that hard to get involved. You just got to think in realistic terms. No one's embarrassed about cleaning their house. It'd be ridiculous to be embarrassed about keeping your house clean. Well, essentially, the earth is just our big house, you know. There's no reason we shouldn't keep it clean.
All right, Jody!
We're waiting on the Acorn Disposal Company. I want to tell you a little more about the paper recycling. We're a pilot project for the Acorn Disposal Company, and they're putting a paper bin, a big dumpster, on the south end of campus near the new maintenance building. So I really encourage you to talk to the people who work here on campus to tell them to recycle their stuff. More than half of the garbage at Wabansie is paper. So, you know, we certainly can make a difference there. I guess, Mike, I'm going to have you come back on until we can find Ken, and then we'll go from there.
All right.
Okay, here's the extras.
All right.
Check. Is the sun making you a little too tired out there?
Nah.
Do any dancing? I mean, you guys want to get up and
How about them new kids?
New Kids. We're going to do a New Kids song. Because I like them. I really do.
Yeah.
A New Kids song written by Elvis Costello.
Our principal.